Hello everyone and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have the first of a best of 3 series between Subway Samurai and Combine in the boot camp tournament for, I believe it's Trained and Hardened, so it's the next levels up away from Rookie. And for this game, which is of course unpunchable, we have Subway Samurai with us in the recording to comment. So
Hello
Subway,
there.
yeah, introduce yourself, let us know something about you, and tell us what you were thinking for this opener, why don't you?
Well, not much to know about me. I've been playing Wargame for a long time, but most of that was not too seriously. Been trying a bit harder in the past couple of years, and this is where I'm at right now.
Fair enough, fair enough. Are you trained on boot camp or hardened?
Hardened.
Ooh, okay. So for those of you who don't do much on that boot camp, it's sort of an internal ranking system that matches the veterancy system for infantry, and it's just a reflection of, generally how well you do in ranked 1v1s, things like that. And it's supposed to represent a similar grouping in skill. So the idea with this tournament was those two brackets make a large enough group of people of similar-ish enough skill to have some really good games. So we have some heavy pressure into Feder coming from
Yes.
Samurai, and this seemed a little unusual to me. I was looking up at your opener and
two-pronged attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a two-pronged attack. I intend to take the Elena Feder area with this. Because people usually not push there very hard.
Right. I mean, usually the mathematics behind it is you don't really care if you lose your 1-pointer if you take the enemy too.
Yes.
So you were playing defensively here?
It's well, it depends on the situation. This is a bit of a reactive opener because I have enough to take either side of the map if the opponent doesn't open there.
Right.
So if my opponent opens the 1-pointers, I take the 2-pointer, or vice versa.
And I think there was something interesting in this opener as well, and I do apologize, I'm going to flip over to Combine's perspective. He actually had an M91A and an M91 back here.
Yes.
That weren't seeing a lot of active combat, and that really confused me when I first took a look at this, because it's like a huge investment, and those need to be active.
Exactly what I was going to say. Very heavy investment into Boris, which I don't like that style of opener on this map. I think it sacrifices too much in terms of your points.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about it, like, that's what, 300
it's like
points?
Such a wide map you have to defend. Boris is the only area that you don't really have to pay attention to in the opener. So if you pay attention there in the opener, then you really dilute your forces.
And one of the points as well here with how much you've invested in Feder, if he had gone all in for your 2-pointer, this would be hard pressed to defend against, particularly if it was on wheels.
It takes so long to get to the 2-pointer, especially with tanks, that by the time he gets there, I already know he's going there because he's not present anywhere else on the map.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So in that case, I would take a defensive stance because then I would already have his 1-pointer in Fedor anyways.
Right,
so.
And you're just playing around Boris because as long as, so I like the Hwasong Chong and Fagoba here because that's anti-air, it's anti-tank. With a little bit of recon, this becomes a reasonably difficult place to push. I mean,
and there comes the recon tank.
Yeah, ZTQ.
For the same position.
Exactly.
I wanted to have this in the opener, but didn't have the points.
Gotcha.
Why it is.
And then the interesting thing here, I mean, these are just base mechanisms of Apesh. They're going to have a hard time. ZST 90s, I think people often overlook these for 15 points, though. I mean, 4 frontal armor, the ZPT 90 isn't amazing, but it's what you need.
It's like a shitty murder one.
Yeah, exactly. Right, so, but you have Lushan Dewey 90, you have Lee Ren. This really amazed me at first. So there's the heavy tanks, by the way. There's the M91A and the M91. But what amazed me was that usually I've seen people take the +1 on the far side, but it comes at the cost of getting a grip on your enemy's 2-pointer. I mean, I expected you to stop here, and you didn't.
Yeah.
And that is what? That's +2, +3. I mean, even more than that, to be honest. So
my hold on the 2-pointer is tenuous. That's the downside of this. Because if I fully invested into the 2-pointers, I would have 2 or 3 Chomnaho 5s, and then I could contest his tanks. But this way my hold is tenuous. But at least it puts pressure on him. He really needs to invest to get me out.
Right, and for those of you guys who aren't aware, like the Fago team here is really tricky because that has line of sight all the way in on this side. Did you get any kills with this, do you know?
I didn't see. Okay. I don't think so. But it's just good to have their extra pressure on the opponent.
Yeah. And then why push into Boris right now?
I have spare points. He is being really slow in Dimitri. I already decided that I'm not going to be able to hold my position in his 2-pointers, so just focus on Boris. Getting that little down already allows me to CV it in case it becomes necessary.
Right, right. So if we look
And he
back,
has no fire support because I saw his tanks move over to Dimitri, so I know he only has infantry. So it's basically
yeah, your
a free
Chanmaho
push.
5 can
Yeah.
basically rule the field right here.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be slow, but I don't have to invest too much into it. I already have the Chomnaho there. Just
Yeah.
a couple of infantry squads and I can get it rolling.
Yeah, so I do have to say, just real quick, Combine and I faced off in the rookie tourney not long ago, and I was rather rooting for him here just because, I don't know, we played against each other. He was a nice fellow. You and I hadn't met, and I was just sitting there going, I really hope Combine has a couple of really dominant games. And then, I popped onto the Discord to see if it was game 3, and it was the recording of the end of the series, the replay being shown. And so I was sitting there kind of going, I know what it felt like when I played Combine. It was a tough game. It was not exactly a walk in the park, but this has been just such a dominant amount of pressure. I mean, what major losses have you even taken here?
Nothing yet.
Yeah, to be able to say that 6.5 minutes in, is just really pretty terrifying. So
the game wasn't. There was no major combat yet, so you will see. I will take some losses when it.
Okay. The super heavies need to find a
starts.
home. They need to find a good place to engage, and then they do have.
Well, he really should be engaging me already. He's not putting on pressure anywhere.
Yeah.
So far, I have been dictating the tempo.
Which is interesting too, because neither one of you really took Wield. It's just all really slow stuff. And these Padelbronchi 90, if you're going to be pushing in from this side, I recently did this against Honda Hun in the rookie tourney finals, best of 5, and you smoke a little bit in here first. Otherwise, anybody on red who takes this section like you have, I've never seen anyone not put, well, that's a lot of negatives.
Yes.
Everyone always puts stuff here.
With how the line of sight is bugged in this area, you have to have your tanks extremely close.
Right. They're
so
not going to be able to provide
it's
fire
not possible to peek out of the forest, take a pop shot at my units, and then reverse back in. So I can very confidently have my recon tanks out, knowing that my opponent can't just destroy them with little warning.
Gotcha. So I think we've gone over a little, but can you tell me more about what your plan was, sort of as this game creeps along, really with just so little major combat? It's kind of amazing.
Well, initially with this opener that I did, it's not an exact plan. It's just you throw out 2 attacks, and whichever works, you focus on that side.
That was a nice.
I lose my tank there. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that Chomel 5. Yeah, mistake, left it out as well.
Prashka. I mean, the smoke looked like it was on the way, just not quite quick enough.
With the 2-pronged attack, it's just the 1-pointer attack went smoothly, so I invest enough to defend it, and then I start CVing up because I just know I can get a tick.
Yeah, and that's what you're doing right now. But this is 9 minutes in. You've controlled this pretty much since 2 minutes in. Why wasn't there a CV buy earlier?
I wanted to secure my 2-pointer because I saw his heavy tank presence there. And I wanted to make sure that he doesn't push into mine.
Yeah, I mean, this is good fire support right here. Like, the weirdness of line of sight in this area cuts both ways, right? So his tank was able to go up there.
It's the dark patch next to the mountain that's bugged.
Yeah.
The dark patch counts as forest for line of sight purposes.
Which is really just goofy, because that's not... I don't know about you, but this doesn't look like forest to me.
No, but like the mouse doesn't even turn blue, so...
Yeah.
It's just bugged. Yeah, but it basically counts as a forest.
Right, but here's the Mechanizovna in the open again, and this just... Mortars are a really good unit. They really are.
Again,
and people look at them and they don't get... your mortars are not going to get huge kill lists, usually, unless it's just that much of a forest grind. But the amount that they do to preserve your units to allow you some tactical flexibility is huge, right? So, Padelbronchi 90 might not have been dead, Mechanizovna might not have been dead, all of that.
Yeah, but that's one thing, the fact that the mortars give smoke support and preserve your units, but they are also really good at tilting infantry fights in your favor.
Yeah, exactly. So, the Mint Jellyman is really good at doing this, and he has been teaching me the hard way, shall we say, how to use
Yeah.
mortars better. And he'll put up like 5 different mortars, and the second he sees your elites, they had better run or they're going to get shot from 5 different directions with 5 HE artillery, and it's just
This
so
is
painful.
something that I have been learning to do lately. I just when I have spare points, I get 2 extra mortars besides the one I start with, and whenever I see infantry squads, I just have the mortar on a hotkey and I fire boss on the infantry squad.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
it's amazing how much better my infantry performs with mortar support than without.
yeah. Try it out. If you're listening and you haven't tried it out and you don't believe me, try it out. You'll probably believe me. So I do highly recommend it. I actually just came out of a game before we started recording where my opponent grabbed not 1, not 2, but 3 Plommons, and that was even more devastating. So I am curious, why not push into this? You have Lujendui 90, and with the Zanchi already here, I would think you might be able to get some infantry in here and then like clear these town blocks.
No need. There's no need.
Yeah, fair, I suppose. I mean, you're taking +1, could be taking +2 at any time.
I'm investing at this point into a 2-pointer push, and this is when I buy a CV for my opponent's 2-pointer.
Okay. So the
And
idea...
this is where I'm gonna start playing a bit more dubiously. Up to this point, I've been very passive, but I feel like I haven't made many mistakes, and now I'm gonna start making a couple.
Well, I'll be happy to see them, but oh man, that's rude. SU-27SK versus L18.
This is the first mistake. I went for the helicopter and I get very lucky, and the plane doesn't hit me.
Yeah, but that's a bit of a dice roll, and that Hera 2 is probably looking for your command infantry somewhere.
Which is not there.
Yeah, no, it's not. But this is the common place. So actually, this is really kind of clever. Put a Hwasong Chong near the common place where people will send recon helicopters.
It wasn't intended to cover from behind. It's intended to cover from the Boris direction.
Okay, but the N91 Vihor is up here, right on the edge of what the game considers heavy woods. We've seen Padobranki 90. That, to me, says there's probably more infantry around this way, and your Lujan Dewey are getting isolated, so... You know, it looks
doesn't matter, I've already realized at this point that I'm gonna lose this area and accepted it.
So, where do you go?
I'm preparing for a new push, I'm waiting for a T90, basically, and infantry.
Gotcha. So I think it's what, about 115 or so points per minute is the income rate. It's like 100 to 115. It's +7.
Wait, 15. It's 7 every 4 seconds, so 15 times 7, it's 105.
Yeah, 105. So that's nearly, well, it's about a minute and 40-ish seconds, minute 45 seconds or so before you can get the T90. So keep that in mind whenever you lose a super heavy. It takes a while to get one back. It's part of why it's so impactful when you lose them on the battlefield, because then you still have to drive up. 2. Right. And, you know, there's a difference between buying something and when it actually comes in. So an Orao 2 right there, and doesn't look like he hit anything too important. Hwasong Chong.
I don't even know what he tried to hit.
Yeah, I mean, he might have thought it was the other Orao and been trying to drop a bomb.
He hit the infantry. He hit the Iran.
Oh, okay.
Actually, big.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of forward recon. There's a Prachka right there, which Prachka is really just... There's a couple units in this game that really annoy me, and the Prachka is one of them, because whenever I try and use it, I miss both my shots. And whenever I see one from my opponent, it kills my Tiger or something, and it's like, I know it's just confirmation bias, but Super Gallop.
I don't like the Prachka because, yeah, it's just not a...
Was that super
much better options. Yep, that was it.
Oh, man. That has to feel a little rough there.
He didn't see the fact that it was spotted. So I didn't even see what tank it was. I just knew it was a tank, so I sent the ATGM plane.
Well, this is something that's particularly hard to do on maps like this, where like if we put ourselves at his perspective at the start, that 2-pointer is off the screen. If you keep about this zoomed out and you come over here, you can't really see anything on the left. If you're looking over here, you can't really see anything on the right. So some advice I got recently for how to do this map and really distress your opponent is if you want to do a big push on one of the sides, move a couple of cheap things on the other side, let them move their screen. And then if they're not watching their mini-map, they might miss the beginning of your offensive. And that little bit of time without micro can mean a lot. So let's switch back to your perspective.
Whenever I try to do something sneaky or try to do a side attack, I always engage my opponent in another area first.
Yeah.
Because
some solid
it just increases the likelihood of success for.
Yeah. Gamma 2 taking out the ZTQs. Your ZTQs have taken quite a toll this game.
Also, I saw his CV.
Oh man.
I saw his
So
box
2 veterancy.
move. Yeah,
is
2
a big
levels of
push.
veterancy means a CV. I saw
That's
it
rough.
move, I saw it stop there, and I saw the zone get kept, so...
That's really rough.
And my opponent hasn't really bought AA at all, so...
No.
I saw the Brechka, but the Brechka is extremely unlikely to shoot down a J7 like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's short range versus planes, and I think for a little while, I think Combine might have been relying on that L18 that you shot down earlier. And
yes, but you can't rely on AS. ASFs are meant to kill planes, not to defend your ground units.
Yeah.
AA is there to defend your ground units.
So, as we get to the end of this one, I also do just want to say we have a lot more left in the video because we are going to be playing another game after this, still with Samurai here to comment. So this one is pretty well locked down as a win, and we're going to be showing you game 2. But there's a couple minutes left. There's a couple of things that still happen that we want to definitely take a look at, including combat with the T90S. This guy is moving forward into infantry, and your ZST90.
Quite a disappointing phase of the game.
Tell us how you really feel.
I didn't micro very well here. Piecemeal attacks, I didn't build up correctly. I should have waited a bit more for a better combination of units.
Some recon, something or other.
Well, I have the Lee there, so...
Yeah, you know, then you get a bit closer. That is a big tank, I think. Yeah.
It's a Baby Vihor.
Yeah.
Or recon
Baby Vihor. 130. Oh man, that's rough.
It's nothing anymore.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
That was the 130, I think. Yeah, Baby Vihor. Man, I do like that tank too. I think for 130 points you're getting quite a lot of utility, but...
Oh, it's one of the best in the game.
But nothing survives that side shot close range from a T90S. Like, it just...
Well, plus it's an overmatch, 170 versus 130 points.
Yeah,
you're not winning that fight with the Vihor.
That's true. You know, I've seen a lot of the HT40 NRZs this game, and that's not really a common thing.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean...
It's an expensive Mi8 without infantry.
Yeah, people compare it
MTV,
on...
Mi8 MTV. It's
right,
basically the same performance. Yeah, fewer rockets, high range. It's basically the same performance.
But 8 strength is a little bit meatier. The question is if it's worthwhile, because 6 versus 8, you know, it's still 2 4HE missiles, but sometimes...
I mean, the question is what else are you gonna take in Yugo? Because this is Yugo Nati, by the way. This is not
really?
Entente. Yes. So
yeah,
he doesn't really have many other choices.
No, that's fair.
Bantang doesn't manage to hit that transport. I thought it was empty, but it actually has Padobranchi in it.
Oh wow. Did you pick first, by the way, or did Combine pick first?
I picked first.
So he picked Yugoslavia into Red Dragons?
Yes.
That is interesting. So I'm a big fan, I used to be anyway, a big fan of Yugoslavia National just because of the availability bonuses. It really can be a very BVP heavy deck without being Entente mech. Because you get the additional infantry availability, so you just upbet them and you just have more. But I'm not sure...
by the way.
Sorry?
The Padobranchi got my AA, by the way.
Yeah. Padobranchi are a pretty good infiltration unit for this.
Yeah.
So long as they're not overwhelmed too much where they can't use the bombar, but... Yeah, that looks worth it.
Yeah. It was definitely worth it.
Alright, well, let's take a quick look at some of the standout units for this one. Oh man, that was a CV kill right there at the end. That's just nasty.
Oh yeah, it's just rolling it up, no AA, no cover, no smoke, right in front of the recon. That's never gonna survive.
1650 to 990, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm surprised 990 points of stuff on your end died. It didn't seem like it during the game, and I guess we had the bomber die, we had a couple of other things, but...
Yeah, bomber, a couple of tanks.
Chamaho 5 did
lost
very
infantry.
well. Yeah,
that was the one that was on the 1-pointer side.
Oh yeah, that initial push that did just very, very well. Okay, well let's go over to the other game, and we'll be right back.
Alright.
And we're back with game 2. So this looks like Blue Dragons, and I'm curious, what did Combine take to this match?
Dutch-German.
Dutch-German, and he picked that first?
Yes.
Gotcha, so why counter Dutch-German with Blue Dragons?
I'm planning to rely on infantry with good AT in the form of the Heibyung and tanks with good armor in the form of the K1.
So things that can beat his tanks and infantry that can handle things like Martyr 2s in the woods?
Yes, exactly. Well, I want to survive his Panzerfaust with my tanks, and I want to handle his Martyr 2s with my own Panzerfaust, basically.
Fair enough. Now this does not look like the stereotypical triangle push. Instead, you're going up into Alpha, into Golf, and double 2A4 NL. Wow, okay.
Yeah, he's pushing the Bravo.
Wait, he's pushing these into Bravo?
Yes.
Wow.
It's a crazy opener. Some people say it works. I disagree. I think this opener never works if you react correctly to it.
I think we're about to see whether or not
it works. To do.
Okay.
Yes.
Minor spoilers there, but yeah, we do only have 2 games in this series, so Subway did take it and move on to round 2. And I hope we get to see other cast with you as well after the second round, but
I'd be glad.
Ren took Junsa. The Hudao Ren in here seem like that's really deadly, because they have the range to reach lots of the edge
of course. I had to react to his opener, because I was gonna push into the other side of Alpha and put the Hudao Ren in the town there, which is very annoying for him.
Where the KCT are?
But I had to stop my tanks and some of my infantry to deal with this opener.
Yeah, so there's a K1A1 down here, some Habyong 90, some Sochung Su 85, and does look like...
2 K1A1s actually.
Oh, really? Let's see, one, and I don't see the other.
No, there's only one. I remembered incorrectly.
Double 2A4 down here on its own? Oh, man.
But there's infantry with it.
Well, okay, yeah, that's fair. It looks like trouble to me, because if you had taken some infantry up here and through...
Well, if you pulse it here, you can clearly see what the... Oh, yeah, well, Sideshot City.
Yeah, okay.
It's very unfortunate.
And that's 145 points right there, not to mention...
Yep.
I mean, jeez, that...
Connor.
So the
you can see how compacted his units are together. Like, one good bomber, like one Thermomig, one B5, one J7, and his entire opener is gone. Well, there goes the second tank.
The K1A1 actually killed it. Wow, I didn't expect that.
I think it must have been damaged already or something.
Yeah, so, I mean, 22 AP gun, the NL is similar, isn't it?
Yeah, I think 20. I don't know what the AP is in the NL. The K1A1 has high AP but low armor, which is the exact reverse of the regular K1.
Right.
Funnily enough.
Right. So we have Habyong 90 going up to intercept these panicked Core Mariner, and it looks like Combine's pushing a little bit into Fox, but without controlling Bravo and with your toehold in Alpha, this still is looking pretty good. I do like the escort buy from him, though.
Yes.
This seems...
It was very painful to deal with.
Yeah, that seems like the good way of handling this, because you just sit back and you let the escort's rocket pods clear out the town for you. So that at least
I decided to risk it and take it out with the ninja, but he kind of has AA there.
So we saw AA back here earlier, took down your Cobra.
Well, I had a helicopter exactly where the escort is right now, and it got shot down right there.
Oh, okay.
My transport helo.
Gotcha. So. Well, first missile away, and one hit. Second missile. Oh man, the ninja is just so good. 65 points of value right there.
70% base accuracy. So.
Yeah, fair. FRR rolling 3. And this is the remnants of the KCT, but we've already seen their 4 strength. Hudao Ren can deal with that. Probably, well, no problem, I guess.
No fire support. I have no fire support. Not gonna risk it. Because I'm not pushing there right now anyways. It's just, it would be a nice freebie, but I'd rather keep the Hudao Ren intact right now.
Yeah, now something interesting about this map. Your reinforcement line is pretty long to get to Alpha, but it's also pretty long for him to get to Alpha as well, because things are going to spawn in over here.
Yes.
And they're going to come in all the way across this way and turn up.
I hate it.
Up this way, then over. Like the Alpha push from blue is really deadly because it takes people longer than they think.
Yeah, I hate it with a passion. But he spokes for his core mariners, which is cute because it just draws my attention to it.
Yeah.
And I see it anyways because I have the recon in Square Forest looking this way, so.
So I like that they're going for that. They're trying to do something, because if they just stay where they were, they're going to get outdueled by Habyong.
I was very surprised they didn't die because I thought the Habyong killed them. So I was extremely surprised at this point.
It was probably a bit of a force path away, is my guess. And I mean, they're making contact with a Bambu down to 4 strength. You had to redirect some infantry over here to deal with it. So
fortunately, I had them coming. Otherwise, the CB would have definitely died.
Yeah, just jumping town to town.
And he goes in the wrong direction. He didn't see which way I ran.
Oh, that sucks. That really sucks.
But of course, I ran towards my infantry reinforcements.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, he might also have been looking for the mortar. If he didn't think he could get to the CV.
What's he gonna do with it? Kill it? Get a 40-point unit?
Well, I mean,
It's about an even trade with his Core Mariner.
Sure, yeah, sure. So Deccan's Gruppe here, Habyung 90, and if they weren't in the open, I think that's actually a really hard fight.
Yes.
But they are in the open, so the Habyung 90
They
are going to be doing
already
a
killed
ton.
one Habium there.
Oof. All right.
This is the one that fought the Core Mariner. It just sent it up there when the other one died.
Gotcha. So, looking at the game right now, Alpha has been successful enough, I'd say. Bravo has been successful. You have a toehold in Golf. Both of you have a toehold in Foxtrot. What are you thinking for how to move on from here, given that you have the +2 tick and have for a little while now?
I am perfectly happy with this situation.
Even with your Bamboo being chased?
That doesn't matter. Even if he kills it, it's 100 points. It's painful. I don't think it died. I suspected it wouldn't die though because the Core Mariner were also only on 2 strength.
Gotcha.
Constantly chased. I am very happy with this because I haven't lost any major units, only infantry.
And when you're doing that accounting,
like a tick.
Yeah.
Like the difficult part in pushing Alpha is getting that down, and I already have it, so.
Yeah, this is brutal. Look at that. Yeah. Going for the roll-in 2s, and there's a Leopard 2 call out from Combine, but the K1A1 here I think can deal with that reasonably well, and you've resupplied everything here. The Habyung just probably a little bit out of range.
Yeah.
This is something that I noticed, like, I never used to care about resupplying stuff on the front line because I never had it survive long enough to need resupply. But you change the mentality on that, you bring forward resupply, you keep stuff alive a little longer, and it's amazing how much that flips games on their head. So,
well, it just reduces the amount of losses.
Yeah.
There are some units not worth resupplying, so as you saw, I sent my Sochangsu in. They had no rocket launcher ammo, I walked them into 2 tanks, I don't care. I have plenty, it's only 20 points.
Right.
That's not the stuff what matters.
But the K1A1 is what matters. I do like the escort here. I mean, I think it's an issue of so many losses already inflicted on your opponent that even if there's good counters now, it's going to take a lot of them to really even the playing field. And that's surprising, given that you don't have all that many units, but you have a lot of powerful units out. So Habyung 90, more Habyung 90, double K1A1.
Yes, but he also doesn't have anything. I think if you flip it to all view, yeah, look, see, he also doesn't have anything in Fox and Golf. Actually, have more stuff than him.
I mean, there's KCT, there's Milan, FL12. Yeah. This is very defensive right here. This is just, it's literally just eyes. There's not really much that could kill.
It's not, especially in Foxtrot, he might as well not have anything. Like a single recon, all that's gonna do is he's gonna see when I take it.
That's so rude.
But it's the truth.
Yeah.
You would need at least a little bit of fire support to kill infantry as they approach, and then 80 GM to keep vehicles further away.
Yeah. Now, AMX Pre is proving that they are very good.
Yes. So I am ballsy with the K1A1 here because he has brought no real AT.
Right, so you can go up, you can spar, it really doesn't impact you too badly.
Trying to disengage with the Habyung while I keep them away with the K1.
Core Mariners 95 right there, that is some heavy AT.
And now I say goodbye to my Habyung and run with the K1.
Yeah, fair, and we've seen the impact of those mortars. Sorry if you guys can hear the blips in the background, looks like people are hanging out on the Discord. Yeah, it's just... Yeah, mortar your infantry, well, not your infantry, mortar their infantry, and it'll go very, very well. I imagine those Core Mariners, even if they are still alive, actually, let's take a peek at that. Let's take a look, see what happens. So they're down to 10 strength. Some of that was from the mortar, some of it not, but the Grenadiers,
Apologies.
No worries. No worries. Yeah, I mean, the Grenadiers are definitely very hurt from that. Everything here is panicked. We have just a lot of impact from the mortars on that, and it let you get away as well, because every stun you got on your opponent's infantry, they can't move, your K1A1s had more time to get out.
Exactly.
So, it makes a lot of sense. Just because I can explain it doesn't mean I can do it, but...
and the classic mistake of parking the supply truck next to the mortars, so all the ammo, or all the supplies get eaten by the mortars.
Yeah, they're so supply greedy, it's insane.
But it's fine, I have a phobe in this one, so I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair. Some of the people I've been playing with recently who are like brigadier generals and things like that, they'll say, don't even care about it. When it gets low on ammunition, bring another one up, group them, and split them.
Yes.
And you'll share the ammo.
I never resupply mortars.
Well, never intentionally.
I never resupply them. Just, it's only 40 points and you get 7. So, you never run out of mortars.
Yeah.
But you definitely run out of supplies, especially if you use heavy artillery, which I plan to do. Now, I should have already bought the K9. I think it's a bit of a misplay that I didn't buy it earlier.
Oh, hey,
considering that, oh yeah, there it is. Considering it was part of my game plan.
Right, and the K9 Thunder, 10-second aim time, 7 HE, artillery, 125 points. The whole intention there is just to be the bigger brother of some of these mortars for the infantry engagements. Get some more kills, and, well...
The mortars help infantry kill other units.
No.
The K9 kills the units itself.
Yeah, I guess that is the difference. And it's a good sniper, too.
I was gonna RT it, but I had the Chuma there, so...
So, Combine did notice.
Waste the ammo.
He did notice that it was spotted. It's just by that point in time, it's often too late. So that
again, like that's just a mistake putting it in there. He has nothing to defend it. He has nowhere to hide it.
Yeah, I mean, I can get the desperate sense, right? Like, I guess he probably thought he had a better hold on that than in Alpha, where he hasn't been able to uproot the infantry here. But I actually disagree. I think that would have been a lot safer somewhere in this back row of forest than it would have been where it was parked. So a little bit of situational awareness there might have helped out.
It would have been safer in Foxtrot as well, might I add.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that probably would have prompted you to take the Hachinana up, or at least it would have prompted me to take the Hachinana up.
Yes, 100%.
I'm not sure. They would spot the infantry before they get in range, right?
Not sure. I don't think so.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, anyways, this was my first attempt at an attack. I got a good combination of forces together.
Yeah.
But, yes, my AA dies. My infantry doesn't have much success. There's a lot of fire support.
I mean, killing the leopard too is nice. It seems a bit like why do it at this point, kind of like you said during the last game.
No. There's no such thing as why attack. You should always attack because the least you're doing is occupying your opponent's attention and forcing him to buy units to defend.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess keep the gridlock rather than do anything else.
So unless you like completely mess up and lose all of your units, it's you should attack.
So, did you ever really intend to attack into Golf and Foxtrot?
Nope, because, well, not yet.
Okay, I mean, Alpha is red now, so in
I know
theory...
he doesn't have anything anywhere. It's... if he CVs Foxtrot, then yes, I would attack it. But he doesn't have anything there, so why bother? I would rather go into Alpha, which is what I'm trying to do.
Gotcha. So more Kyotokus, I'm assuming those are more Hudauren?
Yes.
And the K200s, just standard lines, things like that?
Yes, and standard lines. I'm waiting for the AA, and then I'm going in for the Alpha town.
So why no smoke ahead of it? Or is that, oh hey, it's on the way?
What, in front of the town?
Well, I don't know,
No, they're like you always smoke behind the target you're trying to assault, because if you smoke before the target, then your fire support can't do fire support.
Yeah, that's fair.
They can't see the target.
On the other hand, it does allow you to walk your infantry through it basically like it's forest. I've attacked this a couple of times.
It doesn't matter, because if he has good infantry in the town, which he doesn't, he only has 1 KCT with 4 men left, but if he had a good amount of infantry, then I would have helped him with the smoke.
Fair enough. Never help your opponents.
Yes.
I guess. You could still probably have made the argument to smoke back here. Was that just not really a priority?
Not a priority, exactly.
Gotcha. I mean, if this had come up and there were a lot of guns sitting back here, then the next time you did it, that probably would have been...
Yeah, but there never was before this, and I only saw 180 GM. I can deal with 180 GM by microing back into the smoke.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think people, oftentimes, they don't play their opponent enough, right? So you have your own game plan, but you also, during the game, have to be looking at what your opponent is doing and what your opponent isn't doing. And as you said, that really had just not really been present, so...
Well, I felt like I was getting the upper hand in forest engagements. My opponent wasn't doing anything anywhere else on the map. I was up in kills, so I know if I don't have much of if I don't have too many units everywhere else, then he doesn't either.
Oh, just probing with an AH-1J.
Yeah, just go in.
Oh, that's so bad. I mean, you killed Rollins earlier.
Yeah. Only 1. Well, 2 actually. No.
Don't buy Jeep CVs. That Thunder, I'm gonna bet, is already aiming at that position. And that's probably going to prompt the end of it. Well, I guess you did move it. That's nice.
He's running.
Right.
Doesn't matter at this point.
So we'll see some of the units that did
dick, so.
really, really well. Combine's about to surrender here. And I just want to say, Subway, beautiful set of games. Really nice job there. And I wish you the best of luck in the rest of the tourney games. Hopefully we'll have you back on with a couple more stories of success here in a little bit of time.
We'll see. I'm not known to be the most consistent player, so.
That was both the heavy tanks back there. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So 1615 to 720, and let's take a quick look. Double 2A4NL off the Hab Young 90. That was right at the start, and that was so incredible. Very, very nice. That, I think you do this to somebody in the first couple minutes of the game, and you're in for a little bit of a lighter game than usual. Ninja getting an escort, more Hab Young 90 just doing very, very well. Really just was a clinic on how to play high-end blue dragons on Paddy, so.
We have to be careful with saying that because Combine was very passive, so
yeah, fair
against
enough.
Someone who is this passive, it will always look smoother. My mistakes don't come out as much, and there were mistakes, especially in the first game. I was actually not very happy with how I played in the first game. I just did a couple of things that were unnecessary mistakes, and you didn't see it because the gameplay situation didn't highlight it, but
Gotcha.
Yeah, this second one was better, and yes, well, if your opponent is not aggressive, then it will always look smooth.
Fair enough. I guess that's all we've got for you guys today. Thank you all for hanging around. If you like this sort of thing, don't hesitate to do the whole like, share, subscribe, and all that YouTuber nonsense that I always ask for, and I always kind of feel a little scummy asking for, but there it is, and we will see you guys again tomorrow.